today we have Anthony Swiatek of Swiatek-Minerva Coins and Jewelry Limited in Saratoga Springs, New York. Anthony, it's great to have you today. Thank you for taking some time to talk with us here at CDM Publishing.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
It's our pleasure. And you've been a coin dealer now for over 5 decades and have seen just about everything there is to see in the hobby. Looking back at 2018, what would you say the year's been like for you?
Truthfully, it's been somewhat slow because I try to buy coins that I would want for my own self, my own collection, or just have nice coins in stock, really nice coins, and it's been very difficult to find what I'm looking for, and when, I do, almost always, the prices can be very prohibitive because you don't have the large quantity of those wonderful coins available.
The quality coins are definitely scarce, it sounds like. It's truly high-quality coins, huh?
Oh, yes. The the coins that are featuring a beautiful luster, they could have also iridescent toning, which really helps and increases the price, the proper grade for the coin. I mean, you could have a coin which is saying it's a mint state 65, but it could be on the lower end of the scale, and it's not as nice as a coin that is, let's say a 65 plus, or at the top level for the grade.
Now, of course, you specialize in commemorative coins. You've authored numerous books and articles. My favorite book, Encyclopedia of the Commemorative Coins of the United States, released a few years ago. Fantastic book. Looking at commems for a minute now, what's that market like, Anthony, and what should a collector or dealer from their different standpoints be looking for when they're buying commemorative coinage?
Well, I think the commemorative market right now is slow. It needs a big push. It needs a big promotion. What's hurt is the massive population increases for a lot of issues. Like, say, Arkansas type. I remember back May 28, 1969, an Arkansas type coin was $1,450. An Elgin, and by the way, today it's about, I would think, $140. An Elgin 1936 commemorative was $1,550. It's down to about $250 in mint state 65. What happens, so many coins have come out of the figurative numismatic woodwork sent to NGC and PCGS, and of course their job is to grade the coins, and the populations just have risen, and of course this drives down the value of these coins. I mean, I've lost money, clients have lost money because of that.
The goal is to get, of course, more collectors into that area of the hobby, and that would take you take promotion and hoping that we build interest for those series. What are some ways that we can organically grow interest in commems, Anthony? I mean, would it be a matter of just, as you say, getting those coins back out there in front of the mass market again? Would it be through targeted promotions? Would it be a combination thereof and beyond? What would you see as being the way to resurrect the commemorative coin arena?
I think promotions by major dealers where they're going to, invest in these areas and help push up the prices. Now, I feel there's certain issues that will always be common. There's certain issues that I really love that are still difficult to come by today. They're not exactly the easiest ones to locate. And then in the grade, like, what grade do you want? For example, if someone's buying, it depends on their financial status at the moment. Maybe they just want to have an Elgin for the sake of having an Elgin, or an Oregon Trail where you have a selection of coins that were struck in 2 in 1926, 1 in 28, 1 in 33, and then you have 2 in 36, 1 in 37, the 38 and 39 sets, where they're 3 each. So you have a, how shall I say, a choice there. If you just want one type coin, and you just, buying for the joy of collecting, which is what the hobby is all about. But I think if someone was just looking for profits, you want to consider coins like the Grantwood Star, the Hawaiian, the, let's say, Spanish Trail is a really nice looking coin. Let's see, what other ones do I like? The Lewis and Clark gold pieces, the 04, 05, properly graded. You want clean portraits on a 65 coin. You want nice original luster to those. If one can afford a nice looking 6 sesquicentennial $2.50 gold piece, the populations are really low on that coin because of numismatic abuse. In the past, the 65 price was about, oh my God, it must be about 6 times what it is today. It's just come down because the populations, as I say, have risen. More coins have come out. A Mint State 67 Pantac, let's see, what would it be, $2.50 gold piece was about $14,500 in 2000 or so, 99, that area. Again, the low to get a 7 coin. Populations have risen 200, and it's about an $8,000 coin. It's come down because of the increase in pop.
Well, it seems to me, too, as we talk about these rising pops, of course, yes, the prices have come down in the last 30 years since, of course, the great crash of '89. But that opens up so many doors, though, for collectors who maybe in the late 80s could not have ever even thought of affording these types of coins. Now they could, in theory, on a middle-income type of collecting budget, be able to assemble a beautiful collection of primitive coins over the course of several years for a fraction of the cost they could have 30 years ago.
You hit the figurative numismatic nail right on the head, or the lottery scratch-off. You scratched off and got a grand prize, because that's the good part about it, where someone who wants to assemble a collection who couldn't afford those prices, now the commemorative market, whose prices have come down for so many, for really all the issues, would maybe accept a few like the Pantac $50 gold pieces, which I love, the octagonal and round. Getting back to the others, now they can buy that 65 coin. It's been real cheap. Other people who have more money, to spend available funds, they could go for a 66 or 67 coin. They could buy a coin which was like only an afterthought at one time. Now it's a reality. They could buy a 67 Texas piece, let's say a 36D, for maybe $550, where in the past, like, forget about it. As they say, populations were much lower, and they can have that, have the joy of collecting and future potential.
Yeah, and of course with dealers too, on the converse side there, it gives them a chance to maybe market these coins in a way they haven't thought of before, and that is to sell them in sets that would appeal to those middle line customers. It might not bring the biggest profit margins, but it might help move more inventory and stuff, build interest in the series, and eventually again organically build a collector base for these coins once more.
Yeah, you speak words of wisdom. You like Moses on the Mount.
Well, I'm very humbled by that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I'll tell you, I've learned a lot here from a lot of great experts, and of course that includes you over my years of being a journalist and editor. So I'm grateful to you for the wisdom you've imparted upon me, for sure. And thinking about wisdom as we look ahead, of course, we're at the end of the year now, looking at 2019. What are some things that you would be looking for, both as a collector and as a dealer, in the coming year?
Well, I mean, I do love commemoratives, but I also love gold. I was thinking of writing a book in the past on the United States gold coinage, but this what had happened with the commemoratives was that each individual issue had so much history that one could write about. There was so much to say about the issues. If you're writing a book on, let's say the $20 gold pieces, well, how much can you really say about most of the issues, especially the common issues? Mm-hmm. And with the commems, I say that this is where I think I would like to, specialize. But I do love the St. Gordon pieces. I'm quite fond of the $3 gold pieces, the $5 Indians. I mean, digressing, you look at the $5 Indians. I remember in Mint State '64, and oh God, how long ago was that? Maybe 5-6 years ago. Mm-hmm. Maybe time is passing so quickly, maybe it's a little longer. But to get a nice '64, you're paying $5,200, $5,400, even $5,500 if it was so really, really solid for. And all of a sudden, ports came out of Europe. The pricing was knocked down to about $1,900. And, you get some nice coins today. If, one's astute, you might be able to pick up one with a CAC sticker, which is, showing its upper end for the grade, $2,400, $2,500. And I've seen some of those even offered for $4,000 by some of the bigger dealers, and that's even without a CAC sticker.
Oh wow!
But I do love the gold, but it has to be nice and original, and no, say, rubbing on the cheek of the Indian, or if I'm buying an 11D $2.50 gold piece, you don't want to see that. I mean, in the past, coins that were borderline AU, they could be sold for 60, 61 even, because the supply of those was not that abundant, and dealers would know it, but they'd still buy and pay because there's always a market for them. It was the same thing with the 1909 SVDB. My numismatic father, who I call the late Lester Merkin, a super honest coin dealer at a great auction. What he would list in his auction was always right on the money. There was no, puffery with the description. Lester was, a person who, how can I say it? He'd call it the way it was. I lost my train of thought there for a second, but he was the man. As I say, I call him my numismatic father because he was the one who really helped me along the numismatic path. I had other people who were just the opposite. They were obnoxious.
And I know Lester Merkin was a very important figure, of course, as you say, in your young collecting years. And you told me a story some time back about how you got involved in the hobby, and I got involved with the holidays. Isn't that right, Anthony?
Yes, when I was about 10 and a half years old, my uncle and aunt had taken me to Gimbel's department store at 34th Street, New York City, and on one of the floors they had a, what would you call it, a coin booth, coins.
Like a coin counter?
Yeah, coin counter, that's it, yes. And my uncle's, we're looking in the case, do you like this? Yeah, it looks nice. And he tells my aunt to take me to the toy department, and I figured, that's going to be my Christmas gift, I'm sure. And about 2 weeks later, underneath the Christmas tree, gifts were wrapped, and I said, I know what that is. And sure enough, so the 1952 proof set was the numismatic seed, and my father, not to be outdone, had given me a 1921 Pilgrim commemorative coin. And, things germinated later on. My collection was circulated coins that my father had in a Hostess, the fruitcake tin. That was the Continental Baking Company who made this Wonder Bread, and at Christmas time they would bake these fruit cakes. So and of course that'd be in that tin, and that's where he kept the change, and that was my coin collection, because we didn't have much money at all. But my 1949 D. Franklin half, that graded, let's say, about extra fine. Oh man, that was just thrilling. And of course, having a red book that he bought for me and looking at the commandments, I said, wow, these are just, wonderful. And I happened to look at the pan pack, and it noted that coins were struck without the S mint mark, and I remember saying, oh, I'd love to have that someday. Well, that someday came many, many years after that, but I did have it for a while.
And that's reminding to all the people out there that the gift of coins is the gift that can keep on giving for a lifetime.
Oh, yes, but you do have dealers who are not nice. By that I mean that they don't want to be helpful. If they could cheat you, they will cheat you. I teach a course out here, how much are your coins worth? I used to call it how not to lose your hard-earned money and underwear, which I didn't put in the description, but I will let the people know that when investing and collecting in coins. I've come across in fact, my very first purchase was in New York City when they would have shows between the the New Yorker Hotel at 34th Street and this other hotel on 44th Street. Both were off 8th Avenue, and I bought this gem 1849 red cent. Well, it turns out to be the red was artificially colored, the cent rather, the color was artificial, and the coin was whizzed. So I paid $10 for it back then, probably worth about $20 today.
But the lessons learned are invaluable.
Oh, yes, and people like Lester Merkin was really one who would help me out, because the dealers, what I was going to say was, and I'll be real quick, during the course I teach, I had this youngster come in who wanted to get his merit badge in coin collecting, and his mother's a nurse at the college nearby, so she brought him to the school, the class at night, starts at 7, and I had a couple weeks, and when it was over, I helped him with his the answers to the questions, and then the mother took him to a coin show approximately, I guess it was 2 weeks later. I also had given them, just to lend them some books, and I didn't realize he was putting a Lincoln cent book together of the modern coins. He went to a coin show. He needed the 1917 P and D uncirculated Lincolns. Well, this one dealer charged, it's 30 cents in the book, but he charged him 25 cents a piece. Here's a young kid starting. Give him the stinking cents. He had to make 50 cents on the kid. I know you have to pay money to rent the table, et cetera, et cetera. Sure. But here's a future collector. Don't hurt the kid. I mean, if that was me, happy to give it to you. I mean, I know when I contribute to the Red Book, you see 30 cents. The prices are for convenience. If you need a 74 Lincoln cent and someone had it and it's 30 cents, well, you're just paying for the convenience of getting it to put it in that slot.
Yeah, but you're right there, Anthony. Definitely, those dealers who do give to others, especially the younger people, are the ones who really help to perpetuate that interest, that fledgling interest in the hobby among the beginners, and it's so important to have people like that in our industry. And I know there's so many out there who are like that, and that's a great thing. And I know you as well, Anthony, you take such great care of your customers, and it's always a pleasure working with you, and of course, being able to talk with you and get to glean some of your knowledge and to share with everybody else here. So thank you so much, Anthony, for your time today.
Oh, I thank you, and anytime I could help you out, I'm only a phone call away.
Well, sir, you're fantastic. Definitely wishing you and yours a wonderful holiday season coming up and a great 2019.
And blessings to you, and may most of your wishes come true, and same goes for anyone who would listen to this podcast.
Thank you, sir. We really appreciate it.
Take care. Thank you.